This program on the 737-600, 700, 800, and 900 model airplane will introduce and show the location of the various access panels and servicing points on this next generation family of airplanes. We will start with our servicing walkaround at the forward entry door. Some airplanes are equipped with the optional forward air stair. Just aft and below the air stair door is the exterior control panel on the side of the fuselage for extending and retracting the air stair. Going forward is the nose landing gear strut. Here you will find the hydraulic fluid servicing point, the Schrader valve for nitrogen servicing of the nose landing gear strut, the nose landing gear lock pin, and for towing purposes, the towing handle with lockout and pin. Next we have the forward equipment bay, accessible just forward of the nose landing gear. Located here on the left side of the aft bulkhead is the fuel quantity indicator processor. Across from this processor is the proximity switch electronic unit, or PSEU, and the bite panel. Also located in the forward equipment bay is the radar transceiver and the drain fittings for the pitot tube lines that supply data to the air data modules. Furthest forward is the radome. Inside is a metallic tape, which is the glide slope antenna director bar. Make sure this tape is in good condition and properly attached to the inside of the radome. Moving aft on the right side is the ground power servicing panel, where external AC power is connected. Indicator lights illuminate to show power availability and power not in use. Just aft of the nose landing gear wheel well is the access door to the electronic equipment compartment, or main equipment bay. Located here are the battery or batteries, depending upon configuration. Equipment racks E1, E2, E3, E4, and E5, the J9 junction box, and the power distribution panels, or PDPs. Access to the main equipment bay is also possible from the forward cargo bay. Removing the forward bulkhead reveals access to the back side of the transverse racks E2, E3, E4, and PDPs. Also visible are the battery or batteries and the oxygen bottle for the flight deck. In the aft section of the forward cargo bay, with the bulkhead removed, are the air filters, recirculation fan system, and fire extinguisher for the cargo bay. Walking towards the right engine in the left fan cowl is the integrated drive generator, or IDG servicing door. Remember that the fan cowl must be open to reset the IDG after drive disconnect. Refer to the maintenance manual for cowl opening procedure. Underneath the fan cowl is the access panel for the chip detectors, or the optional debris monitoring system, or DMS detectors. On the right fan cowl is the oil tank servicing door. In the right side of the inlet cowl are the T12 fan inlet temperature sensor access door and the cooling inlet port for the electronic engine control, or EEC. Aft of the fan cowls are the thrust reverser cowls. Each thrust reverser has deactivation points, 2 on each cowl. Here at the inboard leading edge, just outboard of the engine strut, is the access panel to the wing anti-ice valve. The spar valve for the fuel and the busing plug for the fuel quantity indication are located behind this panel. Located here is access to the defuel valve. Next we come to the fueling station. Components of this station include a single refuel receptacle, individual fuel quantity indicators, fueling valve control switches, fuel valve open lights, fueling power control switch, and the fuel gauge test switch. Further outboard of the fueling panel on the bottom of the wing is the vent scoop and the differential pressure relief valve in the surge tank. Moving along the wing's trailing edge, outboard of the landing gear strut, is the jet pump for the No. 2 main tank water scavenge system. In the right main wheel well, we find access to the accumulator pressure gauge, the brake accumulator servicing valve, and the APU ground control panel. Also located in the wheel well is the hydraulic system, consisting of the servicing area hand pump, pressure servicing fitting, the selector valve, the electric motor-driven hydraulic pump for the B hydraulic system, pressure modules for the B system, and the standby hydraulic reservoir. In addition to hydraulic system components in the right main wheel well are the quantity indicating gauges for the A and B hydraulic system, right wheel well anti-skid control valves, and the center tank right and No. 2 main tank aft boost pumps and their pressure switches. Now we are looking at the lower right aft wing body fairing, which when opened is the access for the accumulator and the electric motor-driven pump for the standby hydraulic system. Moving next to the aft cargo bay, we have the vacuum lavatory holding tank, accessible by removing these panels. Also located here is the vacuum blower for the vacuum lavatory system, and the electric motor-driven compressor for the potable water tank. This access panel is for the logic module. Behind the aft bulkhead in this cargo bay is the potable water tank. Aft of the aft cargo door are the flight deck voice recorder and the APU electronic control unit. Leaving the aft cargo bay and moving further aft, we have the auxiliary power unit, or APU. The APU is accessed through this door. On the 737-800 and 900 models, there is a tail skid with a wear indicator at this location. Next, we will look inside the 48 or aft section of the airplane. This access has a blowout door. Use caution when working inside the 48 section if the door is closed. The latch mechanism on the door has a release feature for override function to open the door from inside. Inside the 48 section is the APU inlet door actuator, the stabilizer trim actuator, limit switches, the pressure switch for the vacuum lab system, and the APU fire extinguisher. Outside on the lower aft fuselage is the vacuum lavatory service panel, the exhaust port for the lavatory, and the potable water service panel. In the left wheel well are the engine fire extinguishers, landing gear selector valve, power transfer unit and control valve, standby hydraulic pressure module, and the two bubble inclinometers used for leveling the airplane and for use with fuel measuring sticks. Outside and aft of the left wheel well are the drain mast for both the hydraulic reservoir overflow and the APU fuel supply line shroud. Outboard of the main landing gear strut is an access panel for the optional DC electric motor-driven boost pump for the APU, the fuel temperature indication system bulb, and the #1 main tank water scavenge jet pump. Fuel measurement sticks are located in each tank through the lower wing surface for direct fuel quantity measurement. Next, we come to the air conditioning bay, accessed through these panels. Located here is the air cycle machine, heat exchangers, and the 35-degree controller on the 600 and 700 models. Also seen here is the ground air compressor hose fitting. It is accessed only from the right side air conditioning bay panel. Close by is the ram air inlet door actuator for the air conditioning heat exchangers. Next are the lights, which include runway turnoff lights, fixed landing light, and the retractable landing light. The access area for the #1 main tank forward boost pump is located here. To expose the access area, the wing leading edge flaps must be extended. This can be done by setting the trailing edge flaps to 1 unit. Use caution when moving control surfaces. Especially note the position of the engine cowlings. Refer to applicable chapters in the maintenance manual for moving control surfaces. Here is the main #1 fuel tank forward boost pump. The main #2 fuel tank forward boost pump is located at a similar location on the right wing. The main tank forward boost pump pressure switch is located here on top of the left wing. On the main landing gear strut, we find the Schrader valve for nitrogen servicing, the hydraulic fluid servicing port, quick release hydraulic supply line fitting for the wheel brakes, and brake wear indicators. Note the safety cable running between the 2 brake assemblies. Before concluding this walk-around, there are several items inside the airplane that are of importance for servicing. The upper anti-collision light is serviced by removing an overhead ceiling panel and then removing this boot and the air conditioning distribution duct. The flight attendant panels provide important indications for passenger comfort and safety. At the aft attendant panel is the potable water quantity indicator, the control panel for the vacuum lavatory system, and the control for emergency lighting tests. The forward flight attendant panel has the ground service switch and cabin lighting controls. Also located here on airplanes equipped with air stairs are the interior air stairs controls. This concludes our walk-around and servicing of the Boeing Next Generation 737-600, 700, 800, and 900 model of airplane.